What? You want to be a part of the video? Okay, come. Alright, let's do this. So what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Aurora Cannabis. And also, before we start talking about Aurora Cannabis, I think you guys may have noticed I have a hat on and it says Toronto Raptors, because yes, Toronto Raptors have made it to the finals. So I just want to know how many viewers I have from Toronto or from Canada, or how many of my viewers are Raptors fans. So if you guys are Raptors fans, just comment on the comment section, go Raptors go. And that's it. So today we're going to be talking about Aurora Cannabis, and we're going to be talking about how two billionaires have a position in Aurora Cannabis. Also, we're going to be looking at Aurora Cannabis charts. We're going to be talking about share dilution and lots more. So before we get this video started, don't forget, give us a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, smash that subscribe button, and let's get this video started. Actually, just wait 1 minute. I'm going to be doing something new with my channel. So I'm going to be asking you guys, and anyone's free to do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But I'm going to be asking you guys to send me your portfolios. I want to start reviewing, comparing your portfolios with one another. So if you guys want to, send me your portfolios to my Instagram. I'm going to leave my DM probably right in the description below, or I'll probably have it somewhere written over here. So just send me your portfolios, DM me a picture of your portfolios, and let me know whether you want to keep it private or whether you want me to show your name. And I'm going to be doing a series where I'll be reviewing my subscribers' portfolios. So find me on Instagram, or you can email me. I'm going to have all the links and information down below, and you guys could all send me your portfolios and we can all check them out together. Now let's actually get this video started. So before we get started with Aurora Cannabis news, I just want to look at these charts real quick. So I've seen a pretty consistent pattern right here. We have a support line at around $8 American. I'm going to look at the Canadian charts after, and we have a resistance right now at around $9 American. So we've seen it bounce off the support right here and then bounce off the resistance right here. We're currently downtrending, and what I'm hoping is we hit this support and then continue this pattern. Of course, what we don't want to see is Aurora Cannabis break past the support right here at $8, break below it, and potentially go back down to $7 American, which would be their new support line. Now I'm going to be looking at Canadian dollars real quick, and we see a similar pattern forming right here as well. We have a support at $10.75 Canadian. We have a resistance at around $12.15 Canadian. This resistance line was also acting as a support here, and now it's acting as a resistance, and we just rejected the $12.15 resistance line, and now we're creeping back down to the $10.75 support. And the same thing, what I hope to see with Aurora Cannabis is for Aurora Cannabis to hit this support or come close to it and then immediately bounce back up. Worst case scenario is we break below the support and continue down to the $9 support line, which of course we don't want to see. But the reason why I'm bringing up the fact that we can break below this support line, which is $7 in American and $10.75 in Canadian, is because if we look at these charts, which we have the 50-day moving average and the Billionaire bands, and yes, I'm probably saying it wrong, so I'm sure some people are going to correct me on it, but right here we have the Billionaire band and the 50-day moving average. We crossed right here, and then we had a nice run, and then recently we crossed here, and it looks like we're slowly starting to decline. So it won't surprise me to see Aurora Cannabis drop a little more, because we just seen the 50-day moving average and the Billionaire bands cross right here. So a pullback wouldn't surprise me right now. Things aren't looking good in the markets right now. It's not just Aurora Cannabis. S&P 500 down 21 points. We have Dow 30 down 267 points. We have the Nasdaq down 57 points, Russell 2000 down 14.5 points, crude oil is down, gold and silver seem to be the only thing in the green right now. So that's just a few things to keep an eye out on. If it does break below this $10.75 support line Canadian, I do expect Aurora Cannabis to go, or at least get close to the $9 support line, and I'll give you guys the numbers for American. But that's if everything continues to go wrong, because right now the markets seem to not be doing very well. Earnings weren't very impressive for the pot sector, but if Aurora Cannabis breaks below the support here at around $8, we could expect Aurora Cannabis to hit this support here at $7. But if we're looking at Aurora Cannabis right now, technical analysis for Aurora Cannabis is a sell, sell, and a strong sell. We look at the 1 minute, it's a buy, buy, and a buy. And the 1 month, is a buy, and a strong buy. Technical analysis is not very reliable right now because the 1 hour is a sell, the 1 minute is a buy, and the 1 month is a buy. But that's it for Aurora Cannabis charts. We're going to read a couple articles. One of them is 2 billionaires just bought Aurora Cannabis stock. Should you? Recent Securities and Exchange Commission's filings show that Citadel Advisor and Renaissance Technologies, two investment firms run by multi-billionaires, bought shares of Aurora Cannabis in the first quarter of 2019. Citadel Advisors is led by Ken Griffin, who has an estimated net worth close to $12 billion. Renaissance James Simon claims a net worth of more than $21 billion. So why did these billionaire investors buy Aurora Cannabis stock, and should you consider buying it too? Ken Griffin, Citadel Advisor, bought nearly 11.2 million of Aurora Cannabis shares in the first quarter. In addition, the investment firm bought call options for nearly 1.4 million shares, hedged by put options for a little over 1 million shares overall. Citadel upped its bet on Aurora significantly from the previous quarter. So Jen Simmons initiated a position in Aurora in Q1, buying more than 7.1 million of the stock. Aurora is currently the only marijuana stock in the firm's portfolio unless you count Constellation Brands, the alcoholic beverage maker that owns 38% of cannabis producer Canopy Growth. So Renaissance held a direct position in Canopy Growth last year, but later sold its shares in the Canadian company. So we're going to go straight to should you buy this stock too. So it's never a good idea to buy any stock just because billionaire investors bought it. On the other hand, it's not a bad idea to check out the stocks that major investors are buying to determine if they're a fit for you. So my guess is that these billionaire investors are just simply diversifying their portfolio, which doesn't sound like a bad idea. The cannabis sector seems to be a sector that will be on the rise, a sector that's going to be sticking around for the next 10 to 20 years. So I don't see why they wouldn't diversify their portfolio. And what better company to have a stake in this sector than Aurora Cannabis. So right here we have Seaport releases update estimates for cannabis stocks, Aurora Cannabis, Tilray, and the Green Organic Dutchman. So we're going to go straight to their price targets. It's pretty weird because right here you see the Analyst reiterates a neutral rating on Aurora Cannabis stock without providing a target price. So they didn't even provide a target price for Aurora Cannabis, but they do have a neutral rating on the company. And then we're going to move on to Tilray, and it's the same thing. The Analyst reiterates a neutral rating on Tilray without suggesting a price target. They don't even have a target price. They just pretty much put everything into a neutral. They put Aurora neutral, Tilray a neutral. They're not no buy, no sell. It's pretty much the easiest way to analyze a company, just giving it a neutral, not even giving it a target price. And then we're going to go on to the Green Organic Dutchman. Hundley reiterates a buy rating on TGOD stock, but has lowered its target price to $9. Our target price on the shares dropped to $9 from $10. We maintain our buy rating on the stock based on an expectation that the company will be able to both scale production and sell organic products into the marketplace. We continue to be encouraged by added distribution agreements in recent weeks. So at least they put a little bit of effort into TGOD's target price. They gave it a $9 target price, which would be nice. That's actually a pretty good target price. That would mean TGOD will go up by almost 100% in 1 year. And they do have the Green Organic Dutchman as a buy rating, and Aurora and Tilray of course as neutrals. So now we're going to move on to the next article, which is short interest is surging for the most popular pot stock. Let's just get straight into it. Forget Bitcoin. Marijuana remains the hottest viable investment opportunity on Wall Street. Investors have witnessed potential of the legal marijuana industry firsthand, which has been generating tens of billions of dollars a year in the black market for decades. With Canada having legalized recreational weed in 2018 and new markets moving towards a legalized environment, with each passing year, the legal cannabis environment could prove very profitable for patient investors. Among the dozens of pot stocks for investors to choose from, none tends to be more popular than Aurora Cannabis. Even though Aurora is only the second largest marijuana stock by market cap behind Canopy Growth, it has an avid group of supporters among millennial crowd. In fact, Aurora Cannabis surpassed tech giant Apple on free online trading app on Robinhood as the most commonly owned stock. So I do want to talk about why I do think Aurora Cannabis is the most popular company among millennials, why it's the most popular company on Robinhood. And my guess is simply because it's a cheaper stock. Like, people look at the $8 price range for Aurora Cannabis and then look at the $40-$50 price range for Canopy Growth, and they just think that automatically assume that Aurora is way cheaper than Canopy Growth, which Aurora is cheaper than Canopy Growth, but not by much. The best way to determine a company's price is not by their share price, but it's by their market cap. So we see right here, Aurora Cannabis has a market cap of 8.54 billion American. Now we're going to look at Canopy Growth's market cap, and their market cap is 15.4 billion. So they're almost double the size of Aurora Cannabis. But then you look at their share price is $42.55, and Aurora Cannabis is $10. So some people might assume that Canopy Growth is 4 times more expensive than Aurora Cannabis, but in reality it's a little less than 2 times more expensive. And not to mention, the reason why that is because the share dilution. Canopy Growth has 334 million shares outstanding. Aurora Cannabis has over 1 billion shares outstanding. One of the reasons is supporters of Aurora Cannabis are expecting this market leader to strike a brand name deal sometime in 2019, and I'm also expecting it, and I've been saying it for quite some time, that I expect Aurora Cannabis to land a deal before October 2019, which is when edibles and CBD drinks, etc. become legal in Canada. So having watched Canopy receive a sizable equity investment from Constellation Brands and Altria pump 1.8 billion into Cronos for a 45% non-diluted stake in the company, Aurora shareholders are ready for their company's eventual deal, especially after hiring Billionaire activist investor Nelson Peltz as a strategic advisor in mid-March. So it almost looks as if nothing can go wrong with Aurora Cannabis, which is until you take a closer look at the company's short interest figures. So according to data from Morningstar, 79.6 million shares were held by short sellers, investors who want Aurora stock to fall as of March 28th. However, by April 29th, the number of shares short had surged to 88.57 million, or close to 9% of the company's outstanding shares. So why have an additional 9 million shares of a clearly popular pod stock suddenly been bet against its success? One reason would be short sellers are probably expecting a pullback because some investors would probably be considered taking some profits on Aurora Cannabis. So another reason is the company's income statement. Although Aurora has been selling and producing more marijuana, it's still losing a lot of money on operating basis. So despite a projected positive recurring EBITDA, operating profitability looks quite a ways off. Final reason is share-based dilution. Each and every one of these deals have been very costly for Aurora Cannabis, and who's paying for it? The shareholders are paying for it. Aurora has officially over 1 billion shares outstanding, and who knows when they're going to stop issuing more shares. And I've talked about it many times. I'm not happy at the fact that Aurora Cannabis keeps diluting more and more shares. They have tripled the amount of shares diluted that Canopy Growth has. We're going to look at the exact number right now. So Canopy Growth has 334 million shares outstanding. Aurora Cannabis has 1.01 billion shares outstanding. So if Aurora Cannabis had the same amount of shares outstanding that Canopy Growth had, Aurora Cannabis would be now priced at $33 a share, which at that point shareholders would be very happy. Compared to now, we're still sitting at $11, which feels like a price we've been sitting at for such a long time. And we're going to wrap up this video with one more article titled 3 Marijuana Stocks Wall Street Thinks Are Overvalued. And we're going to go straight to the companies. One of them is Cronos Group. The second one is Organigram Holdings, which I'm actually quite surprised to see up on this list. And we're going to go to the last one, which is Innovative Industrial Properties.
Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget, give me a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, smash that subscribe button. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts on Aurora Cannabis. And that's it for now, guys. Bye-bye.